You picked it up again. You didn't mean to. You set it down 30 seconds ago. But your hand moved before your brain did. And now you're here, scrolling through something you've already seen, looking for something you can't name. This is not a bad habit. It's not laziness. It's not a personal failure. It's 200,000 years of evolution running the wrong software. Your brain was never built for the world you live in. It was built for a completely different one. A world where missing information could get you killed. Where every rustle in the grass was either nothing or the last thing you ever heard. Where staying connected to your tribe was not a social preference. It was survival. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent decades mapping the difference between wanting and liking. What he found changed everything researchers thought they knew about desire. The wanting system and the liking system are not the same system. They don't even live in the same part of the brain. Wanting is driven by dopamine. Liking is driven by opioid receptors. And here's what that means for you. Your brain can compulsively want something it doesn't actually enjoy. You already know this feeling. You scroll and feel nothing. You check your notifications and feel nothing. But you keep going. That's not weakness. That's dopamine doing exactly what it evolved to do. Push you toward information, novelty, and social signals. It just never evolved an off switch for a device that produces all three on an infinite loop. Go back 10,000 years. Your ancestors lived in small groups of 50 to 150 people. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar at Oxford proposed that this number, now called Dunbar's number, isn't arbitrary. It's the upper limit of the social relationships a human brain can meaningfully track. In that world, knowing what your tribe was doing was essential. Who was angry at whom? Who had food? Who was forming alliances? Miss that information, and you could find yourself isolated, alone, dead. Your brain still runs that ancient threat detection software, and it cannot tell the difference between a status update from a person you've never met and critical social information from someone who controls whether you eat tomorrow. Every notification is a possible signal from your tribe. Your brain treats it that way. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered in the 1930s that the most powerful way to condition a behavior wasn't to reward it every time. It was to reward it unpredictably. He called it variable ratio reinforcement. It's the same mechanism that makes slot machines impossible to walk away from. Sometimes you pull the lever and nothing happens. Sometimes you get coins. The not knowing is what keeps you pulling. Your phone is a slot machine. Every time you check it, sometimes there's something. Sometimes there isn't. The unpredictability doesn't dampen the urge. It amplifies it. This is not an accident. The people who built these systems studied Skinner. They built his findings into every refresh, every notification badge, every red circle on an icon. Your brain wasn't designed to defend against this. There was no evolutionary pressure to resist a variable reward loop, because that loop didn't exist in nature. What existed was a world where seeking information and novelty kept you alive, where a quick scan of your environment for threats and opportunities was the difference between eating and being eaten. Now that environment is a 4-inch screen in your pocket, and it never runs out of new things to show you. Here's what makes this stranger. Research published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology by Adrian Ward and colleagues at the University of Texas found something that should alarm you. Simply having your phone on your desk, face down, silent, not in your hand, reduced cognitive capacity measurably. Participants performed worse on tasks that required sustained attention. The phone didn't need to ring. It didn't need to light up. Its physical presence alone was enough to pull a portion of your brain away from what you were doing. Your brain was allocating resources to monitoring a potential information source. The same way it might have monitored the entrance to a cave. You are not distracted because you are weak. You are distracted because you are doing exactly what a 200,000-year-old mind was shaped to do. This is the part that gets uncomfortable. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That number comes from research by Asurion, a tech care company. That's once every 10 minutes in waking hours. But more revealing than the frequency is the trigger. Most checks are not prompted by a notification. They are self-initiated. You pick it up because your brain generated an urge, because a moment of quiet felt like a gap, because standing in a line with nothing to look at activated something that interpreted the empty space as a mild threat. Boredom is not natural to you. Your brain was never designed to be comfortable with it. In the ancient world, a quiet moment was a moment to scan for threats, a moment to read your social environment, a moment to gather information. Sitting still and thinking about nothing was a luxury that the savannah did not offer. Now the world is mostly safe. The threats are mostly abstract. But your nervous system doesn't know that. It still treats a quiet waiting room as something to escape from, and your phone as the fastest available route to stimulation that looks to your ancient brain just enough like information that matters. You are not addicted to your phone. You are addicted to feeling like you're not missing anything. That distinction matters, because it means the pull you feel is not about the content. It's about the fear underneath the content, the fear of being out of the loop, of missing a signal, of being the last to know. That fear has a name. Psychologists call it the fear of missing out. But it goes deeper than the phrase suggests. It is not a modern anxiety invented by social media. It is a survival instinct that social media learned to exploit. The good news is that knowing this doesn't immediately fix it. Your brain doesn't rewire just because you understand it, but it does give you a different relationship to the urge. The next time your hand moves toward your phone, before you've decided to pick it up, you will know what that is. You will recognize it not as desire, but as an ancient system firing in a world it wasn't built for. You picked it up again. You already knew you would. Your brain was always going to try. The question now is whether you were going to be the one deciding, or whether 200,000 years of evolution was going to decide for you.